Hello everyone, it's Grimzilo and welcome back to a new video. So in this video we're going to be doing a devlog for my Terraria mod, Relic Forge. I've added new content on and off over the span, I want to say a year now. And I'll get on like once every couple weeks and add some new content. Maybe even sometimes just once a month. But I have a good amount of content to show off. Probably enough to just fill up pre-hard mode. I haven't even really touched hard mode yet, but I just wanted to show you what I do have as of right now. So starting off with the weapons and tools. The very first thing you're going to see is a new weapon called the Wakizashi. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. We have the amethyst, the topaz, sapphire, emerald, ruby, and diamond. They each have scaled damage and weapon speed corresponding with what gem you're using. So of course amethyst is going to be the worst, and it is manual swing. It is not auto swing. Topaz is slightly better, and sapphire is just a little bit better. Emerald's a little bit faster. Still manual swing. Ruby is probably one of the best you're going to get, considering how rare diamonds are. Diamond is the best. All manual swing. After that, we have a new type of ore weapon / tools. So I added a new ore to the game called malachite, and it is a better ore than platinum. It is also more rare than platinum. So we have the malachite broadsword, malachite pickaxe, and malachite ham axe. Now moving on from that, we have another type of weapon / tools. This is called the infected set. So I went a little bit of a different approach this time. And normally there's a sword for your main weapon, but I actually went with a hammer this time. And then there's the pickaxe and the axe. So I was actually going to add a hammer until I realized that the main weapon is a hammer. And eventually I'll add actual hammer damage onto that. Or maybe I'll just turn this into a ham axe also. I'm not really sure. This is an early alternative for Crimtane stuff. It just comes in the blood moon. You know, we get blood moons, honestly, the first night sometimes. So if you just kill a good bit of the infected enemies, and there is also a new enemy in the blood moon that's called the infected slime. And it is very easy to point out, considering there is a bunch of blood particles coming off of it. But if you kill one of the infected zombies, dripplers, or the infected slime, you will get a new item called the infected sample. It is just a retextured tissue sample, but this is how you make these items. Actually, the hammer just drops normally, but the pickaxe and the axe both require 12 and 12, or my bad, 10. So they're okay. They're if you just need something early on and you don't want to go mine some iron or lead. Now there is also a bow for the infected set. Let me just get out some arrows. It is a shot bow. There's not a whole lot of shot bows in early mode at all, if not even any. But it shoots out 3, sometimes 2. Yeah, it does max 3 arrows. Sometimes it'll shoot out 2. But it's very slow, but it does okay damage. And so after that, we're moving on to the jungle stuff. I've only added one thing so far. It is just a jungle spear, and it is an auto swing jungle spear. And it just inflicts poison damage on contact. Now moving on, I did make a couple yo-yos. I'm going to make more in the future. But right now we have the tumbleweed. So I actually did want to base this sprite off the enemy, the angry tumbler. You can kind of see his face on there. And this drops from the angry tumbler. There is no recipe. And I think there's like a 1 in 4 chance to get it. And it does good damage as well as whenever you hit an enemy, it has a chance to confuse them. So then there's another yo-yo I made. It is called the Froyo. It is an ice type yo-yo. And if I'm not mistaken, you just have to get the wizard. Yep, the wizard, because you need snowfall blocks. And snowfall blocks are made out of crystal ball. And then you can get the Froyo. And I'm pretty sure the wizard is pretty hard mode. If he's not, then I'm going to have to change this recipe. But yeah, the Froyo is pretty good. Obviously, it does frostburn damage. I know that is a hard mode damage type, but I did kind of nerf it a little bit to make sure it does okay damage and not too much. And moving on, we have a couple of different types of guns here. So I made a shrimp gun for the ocean, and it shoots exploding bullets. It does take ammo, and it is not automatic. You do have to manually click. And if this, whenever the bubble hits a tile, it does explode with a little bit of water effects, and yes, it does splash damage. Next up, we have the Crimson Rifle. So I've always had a debate where I want to play Crimson, but I like the corruption weapons, or vice versa, and I'm sure there's many other people that agree. So I went ahead, and you can kind of see this right here. It's a little small, but I made a Crimson-themed musket, and it actually is slower than the original musket, but does more damage. And on the alternative, I made a corruption version of the Undertaker called the Ebon Shot, and it is slightly faster and automatic, but does less damage. And then we have the final gun here. It's just a revolver. It is very, very easy to make. I think it only takes just a little bit of iron. Here, we can actually check the recipe right now. Yep, it's 12 iron, 3 chains, and 20 wood at an anvil. And it's very easy to make, super early alternative for rangers. I know some rangers can't even use guns until they get all the way to the corruption or the crimson. So I made a super early alternative for that. And this is a revolver. It only takes iron bullets. You cannot use any other bullet with it. I just wanted to make sure that this gun stays in early mode and can't be abused in any way possible. Now moving on, we have a bow instead of guns, and this is part of the Malachite set I showed earlier. I just wanted to save it for until we get to this part. So this is a Malachite bow. It does 15 damage and it has average speed, very weak knockback. It is a good alternative to the platinum bow if you can't find any platinum. I'll say it is about the same as a platinum bow. Really no difference there. I don't think it's worth making, honestly. I just wanted people to have the option. But yeah, apart from that, we have the few mage stuff here. And so we have a tidal wave. This is dropped from a new event that I will get to in a minute. So this uses a little bit of mana, and it is actually a weaker weapon. It does 12 magic damage, is fast speed, and uses 11 mana. And it shoots out a wave projectile. Here, I'm actually going to give myself God mode, so I have infinite mana. But this is what it does. Pretty cool projectiles. It can go through walls, and I thought it going through walls is a little bit overpowered, so I made sure that I turned down the damage a little bit. And then we have a Dust Devil. The Dust Devil is obtained from fishing in the desert and getting the Oasis crates, I'm pretty sure they're called. And it does a kind of razor blade typhoon type attack. And they do home to the nearest enemy. So I'm going to turn on enemy spawn, see if I can get a slime to come over here or something. Alright, so here's the slime right here. It is going to kill it very fast since this is a little bit better weapon than what a green slime would be used to. But here's the weapon in action. And it actually will continue to survive a little bit. And you may be wondering what this is right here. I will get to this in a minute. I'm just going to leave it right there. So moving past from the Dust Devil, we have the Infernal Scythe. If you're like me, you'll love the Demon Scythe. I love the Demon Scythe. I always get it whenever I can, but it is pretty rare to get. And I feel like it is a little underwhelming for how much you have to work to get it. So if you do manage to get the Demon Scythe, go ahead and combine it with some Hellstone bars, and then you get the Infernal Scythe. So it is faster than the Demon Scythe, but I think it does a little bit more damage or less damage. I can't remember, but it also does fire damage, obviously. And it is worth getting if you have the time. And then over here, we have the one and only hard mode item I've made. But this is called a Monster Soul, and it drops from everything in the world that is an enemy. I think it actually drops from critters also, so I could be mistaken. But basically, Monster Souls are just used to make a variety of things inside of Relic Forge. And I will get to them in the future, but I'm just going to move on for now. So here's the last item we have as far as weapons, and this is called a Cursed Demon Scythe. And you know, like I was saying, I really love Demon Scythes. So if you can get the Infernal Scythe, get some Cursed Flames, Solanite. I actually need to make this 15 or 20 instead of just one, and then some Monster Souls, as I was just talking about. You can get the Cursed Demon Scythe, and it may be a little overpowered right now. I'm not sure. I need to do a little bit more balancing, but wherever you point and click, you're going to summon 3 Cursed Demon Scythes, and these are homing projectiles. They don't just fly in a random direction. And they do a good bit of damage, and it is definitely worth getting this weapon. So that is the last weapon. So we're going to go ahead and move over to the accessories / armor. And we have the Infected set right here, as I mentioned earlier. And it's made with infected samples. It's a good alternative whenever you first start playing the game. And I think there is no set bonus, just each piece gives you damage reduction. And I think it is comparable to Crimson armor. Next up, there is the Malachite armor. And the Malachite armor is probably one of my favorites that I've made so far. The Malachite armor is better than Platinum armor. And it gives you 25 defense with just the armor on. And this one does have a set bonus. It is +4 defense and +10% movement speed. And I think that is a pretty good bang for your buck if you go ahead and try and find some Malachite in your world. And it does look pretty cool also. Here's that zoom in so y'all can see it. But yeah, moving past that, we have some accessories I want to go over now. So the first one up is the Kinetic Ooze. It is dropped by every slime in the world, including King Slime. But what the Kinetic Ooze does is, here, I'll go ahead and show you. So whenever you put it on, let's read the description real quick. Occasionally grants a speed boost when not moving that lasts 5 seconds. So basically this means if you stay still See, speed burst, and it is charged up. It is not going to go anywhere until you move. And then when you move, you're going to have just a little bit of extra movement. It's not really all that noticeable until it runs out. See, there we go. Now we move a little bit slower, and it doesn't happen every time you stop moving. See, I didn't get it that time, but stop moving again, and then I get it again. And it's just kind of handy if, you kill a slime 5 seconds into loading into a world. A little extra bit of movement speed. But the next thing is going to be the living wood ring. This is a good alternative to the horseshoe. This spawns in an overworld chest, and I think there's like a 1 in 4 chance that it spawns in the chest. And basically, it doesn't do the full effects of the horseshoe, but it gives you about 75% of it. And you will still take damage if you fall, but you're not going to take nowhere near as much damage as you would without it. Now the next item is going to be the reinforced shield. This is an extremely early game item. It's literally made with iron, wood, and some chains, just like the revolver. And it just gives you 3 defense and also reduces all damage by 5%, which actually is a pretty good amount, so I might reduce that to like 2 or 3%. This is also really good whenever you're first loading into the world and you just want something to equip. Now the last item we have here is called the Summoner's Broom. This is actually obtained in expert mode from the Skeletron treasure bag. And this gives you +3 minion slots, negative 150 mana, so it'll take away your mana. And basically, this is just perfect for any summoner that wants some extra minion slots and doesn't really care all that much about mana. Now, this may or may not be very overpowered. I'm not really sure. I need to do a little bit more testing and balancing just to make sure it's not. But yeah, that's the Summoner's Broom. And then the last item in the accessories is going to be the one and only hard mode accessory we have. It's called the Strange Amulet, and it is dropped from the Wall of Flesh in expert mode again from his treasure bag. So what it does is it doubles all types of damage. Does not matter what it is. You will do double damage with any weapon, any gun, anything. But it will also completely half your health once you have this equipped. So right now I have 100 health. Whenever I equipped it, I have 50. So if you have 500 health, you're going to have 250 health. But it is very handy if you are very good at evading attacks and you just want to do maximum damage. Maybe overpowered, may not be. I'm going to do some more testing just to see. Alright, moving on from the accessories and armor, we go into our last chest. That is the potions and consumables. And we're going to start off with the soda pop. So this is just dropped from a regular zombie in pre-hard mode. There is a rare chance that it will drop. But, if you kill a whole lot of zombies, you're probably going to be getting a good amount. So what it does, it greatly increases speed by a whole lot. And it also raises damage done to the player by 20%. So that means you're going to be extremely fast, but you're also going to be taking more damage. And I can go ahead and show you what it does here. So if we drink it, we get the Sugar Crash debuff. It is not a buff. It greatly increases your speed by a whole lot. I'm talking an immense amount of speed. But you're going to take 20% more damage for 4 minutes. You can also right click it to get rid of it anytime you want. So I guess you can consider it a buff. I'm just going to consider it a debuff considering that 20% damage. So next on our list is going to be the Super Crate Potion. So if you do a whole lot of fishing, you know about the crate potions. You know how useful they are for getting crates. And my friend brought up a good point. He says, man, I wish they would make a potion where if you drink it, you get a crate 100% of the time. I'm like, that does not sound bad at all. So I went ahead and I made a Super Crate Potion, and it is quite expensive to make. So you have to get a regular crate potion, which already takes all of this to make. Then you use the crate potion inside of this recipe, plus 2 diamonds, plus 3 amber, plus 10 monster souls to get 1 crate potion. I might make it a little bit more expensive considering hard mode crates are very sought after. I'm not going to show it off since I'm not near an ocean, but yeah, whenever you fish, there's a 100% chance that you'll get a crate no matter what. Next up on the list is the Adrenaline Potion. So this is a high risk, high reward potion. It is increased everything, and it is not in the bio. But whenever you are done with your 1 minute duration of the Adrenaline Potion, so you get, I think there's, a little bit of speed boost, insane damage boost. You get plus 50 HP, and then you also get 8 defense just on top of everything. But whenever it is done, so you actually can't right click it. So I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward to whenever it is done. And whenever it is done, you'll see that we get stamina loss debuff. And it says after giving it all, you are useless. So basically what this does, you can obviously see I'm very slow. It says 0 defense, but it actually is going to be negating defense if you're wearing armor. So I think it's -8 defense after that. But yeah, basically you're very slow and you lose defense. And I actually think you take more damage as well. But yeah, it only lasts for 30 seconds. It's not that long. So it is high risk, high reward. If you want to use that during a boss fight, be sure to back away once you know it's about to run out. So next up, we have the Crystallized Regeneration Potion. This is a permanent potion. It is a consumable, not a potion. I just went ahead and made it look like a potion. So if you do not know, there are things in the game that you can go ahead and throw inside of Shimmer, and it will give you permanent effects such as permanent luck, permanent health, permanent mana. And I went ahead and made one for my own with permanent life regen. I'm not sure if there's already a permanent life regen one, but I just want to go ahead and make another one. So this is actually obtained through fishing in the ocean. It's not obtained through Shimmer at all. So what it does is just permanently increases life regeneration by 10%. Next up on the list, there is the Deep Blue Conch. This is what I was talking about earlier. It is the new event I went ahead and made inside of Terraria. So let me see if I can go ahead and summon it now. So I actually get a message down here saying you can only summon the Deep Blue at night. I'm going to go ahead and switch to night. So it is basically a Blood Moon type event for the early game. And if I go ahead and summon it, everything turns a dark blue. So all this does is raises the spawn rate by, I think, 4 times. So you're just going to get a whole lot of enemies. There is no special enemies right now. I'm going to add special enemies in the future, but as for right now, it only just very greatly increases the spawn rate. And there actually is no enemy spawning because I have it turned off. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it back to daytime now. And it will say the Deep Blue fades. So it only is a at night event. It will not activate during the day at all. And the Deep Blue is actually where you get the tidal wave from. I'm not sure if I said that earlier. All right, moving on, we have the actual main items of Relic Forge itself, and what it's based off of is the actual relics. So I'm going to go ahead and just get these in my inventory. I'm going to go over the most important thing first is the Relic Cleanser. So the Relic Cleanser will remove any active relics that you have permanently. You will not be able to get them back unless you make said relic again. So I'm going to go ahead and use this, and I can't use it because I don't have any relics active. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the first one that is obtainable in the game. It's called the Relic of Swiftness Mark 1, and it just permanently increases movement speed by 30%, and that is a lot. I might nerf that in the future, but you make it with Hermes boots, a swiftness potion, and 100 monster souls. I might make it where you need to make like Terra Spark boots or something. But if we go ahead and use this, that's what it does. And we run this fast by default now, and this actually does not add on to Hermes boots or Terra Spark boots or whatever boots you're wearing. This is only base speed. This will not add on with your boots. So your boots have a speed cap that I have not altered. So I do think it is kind of balanced where it's not going to add on to like your flight speed or anything. It's just going to be your actual acceleration speed until you get up to speed with your boots. So, and then there's actually the Relic of Swiftness Mark 2. And to make this, you need the Relic of Swiftness Mark 1 again, 500 monster souls, Terra Spark boots, and then 10 swiftness potions. I think this one is actually balanced. It has a balanced crafting recipe. And to use this, you have to have the Mark 1 already activated. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Relic Cleanser to forget my relic. And I'm going to try and use the Mark 2. And it's going to say you must awaken tier 1 relic first. So if we go ahead and go back to the tier 1, I'm going to use this, speed increased, and now we're going to try and use the Mark 2, and speed greatly increased. And then yeah, this is your base movement speed from now on, and I don't think there's going to be a Mark 3 because this is just crazy. This is basically Soda Pop with no Soda Pop debuffs, and if you combine this with Soda Pop, you are moving at lightning speeds. It is insane, but may or may not nerf this, may or may not balance it out, because this is just kind of crazy, honestly. But you know, if you want to go ahead and work for it, this is the reward. So I'm going to go ahead and forget these relics so that I can move normally again. But I'm also going to make it where it is a feature that you can only have 3 active relics at once. I don't want to make it where people can have every single relic activated at once. That's just super overpowered. But we have the Relic of Strength, and then the Relic of Strength Mark 2. And so as you can tell, it permanently increases damage done by 10%. And just Strength Awaken, and then you get the second one, Strength Further Awaken, and then you do a whole lot of damage. I'm gonna go ahead and forget that though, so that we can take the Relic of Resistance. Relic of Resistance, it just permanently decreases damage taken by 10%, and this is the crafting recipe for it. So it's 250 monster souls, copper helmet, wood helmet, cactus helmet, crimson helmet, and then all of this stuff over here. And you actually have to get a malachite helmet as well, so you're gonna have to go get malachite one way or another if you want this relic or not. But I also forgot to show off the relic of strength. It's crafting recipe. So I'm gonna get the Mark 1, Mark 2 back out here, and then here's the crafting recipe for the Mark 1. It is 250 monster souls, and then all of these swords up to the blade of grass, plus the warrior emblem. So it is a hard mode locked relic for just the tier 1, and I think that is fair considering it does increase your damage by 10% permanently. And then for the Mark 2, it's even more. It's 500 souls, the first relic again, I have a golem, and then the adventure emblem. So you're gonna have to farm the wall of flesh. And honestly, I think this one is worth it. If you're willing to put in all that work, you're gonna get a whole lot of damage. It's gonna be 20% damage increased, all combined. But that does take up 2 relic spots. It does not take up 1. I don't currently have a cap on the relics right now, so you can actually use all of them at once. But I'm gonna make sure in the future that if you try and use more than 3 at once, then it's gonna give you an error message saying that there's an overflow of relics and that you're gonna have to use the relic cleanser if you want to add more. But as of right now, that is all I have in Relic Forge. But yeah, this is what about a year will get you whenever you're making mods on and off. I'm going to be adding more to this mod in the future, but as of right now, this is all I have for the mod. It starts at about right here and then comes down to here. I'm not sure how many items that is. I don't really feel like counting. So if you like this mod and you want more of it, just be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment telling me your feedback. If you have anything you want added, go ahead and leave a comment because I will feel free to add anything. Honestly, half of these items in this mod was suggestions from my friends and family. So if you want something inside of my mod, go ahead and leave a comment, and I will actually put you in the description or a custom description. I think all of them, or most of the items have a funny description, like you see on the tidal wave. I thought this one was funny. I play a lot of Geometry Dash, as y'all know, and it says 95% times 3, and as you know, there was 3 top players that died at 95% on the level tidal wave, and I just thought that'd be a funny description to add in. So if you want a custom item with its own custom description and a funny joke in the bio or something, just go ahead and comment down below, and I'll make sure to do that for y'all. But if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.